Taylor Bush, and I wanted to give you the Select Board's action taken for February 14th, 2023, Valentine's Day. This was a very long meeting. Let's see, so first we had public comment, and at public comment we had comments from Tim Keldoff from the 26.2 Foundation, who was talking about perhaps doing some kind of event to recognize the years that the Boston Marathon started in Ashland. I think it's coming up on the 100th anniversary of the last year it was held in Ashland, so he suggested he work on that. It was not on our agenda, so we couldn't discuss it, but he just gave us a heads up. And then we had several people comment on the Regional Dispatch Center, the rec center. All were opposed to the rec center. Then, let's see, we had the consent agenda where we approved the minutes for January 31st. We accepted a gift to the ambulance fund from the Lynches for $25, from the Butchers for $50, and $200 from Deborah Peasley, all in memory of Julia Harris. So that was really nice of them, a nice way to remember her. The Select Board accepted the resignation of Ashley Fogg from the Youth Commission. We approved a parade permit for the Sherritt-Timlin 5K road race, which would be June 14th, 2023. We approved a parade permit for the Hopkinton Little League Parade, which will be April 23rd, 2023. Let's see, and then we started with our discussion on the Regional Emergency Communications Center or Dispatch Center, which would have been with the towns of Southborough, Grafton, Westborough, and Hopkinton. And after some discussion, we did vote, so we voted not to participate in the rec center. The vote was 2-3. So Irfan Nasrallah and myself, we voted in favor of going forward with the rec center on the condition that we would not have a dark station and that it would go to a town meeting vote, but that failed. And the other 3 board members voted against even pursuing it any further. So that was the result. I know people had been anticipating that. Next, we did board and committee appointments. We appointed Paula Haas to the Council on Aging to a term expiring June 2024. And we appointed Suzanne Green as an at-large member of the Hopkinton Historic District Commission to a term expiring June 2025. Let's see, we issued a special temporary alcohol license for the Little League fundraiser, which will be May 19th, 2023 at the St. John's Parish Hall with certified tip servers and a crowd control, somebody certified in crowd control, and a police detail officer. Let's see, then Police Chief Bennett presented the OUI last drink data from October 2021 through September 2022. There were only 2 incidents, and he did talk to both those establishments. Then we had a very brief FY24 budget and capital hearing for the Senior Center because they hadn't been able to make our last meeting. The director had been sick. So she gave that overview. And then we had a look at the town meeting warrant draft that's going to be sent to town council. There are several citizens petitions this year, and the draft warrant was in our meeting packet, as well as the town website has a Google folder with all the citizens petitions. If you want to read through those, feel free. And then the town manager had a report on the Main Street Corridor project. Not really much going on right now until after the marathon. He gave us an update on the PFAS situation, and just to recap for those who don't know, so right now, if you're in a sensitive subgroup, you can get a rebate on your water bill. There's a form to fill out online on the town website. It's very simple. We voted last year on a temporary solution, which is to install a filtration system on well 6. And we've been working on that all year, but it takes a while to get all the materials and the permits. And that should be hopefully up and running pretty soon, this spring 2023. And we are also continuing to work on a connection to the MWRA Water Resources Authority through Southborough, but that is a big complicated project and expensive, and it will take a few years. So it's important to have that temporary solution of the filtration system first. Let's see, and if you do have any concerns about the water, please do reach out to the Board of Health. They can provide advice. Especially if you have a private well, you might want to get that tested and report those results. And then under board liaisons and invites, we did have a couple. Try to jot these down as we're going through the meeting. Make sure I don't forget anything. Okay, the town, I should say too, under the budget, the town manager gave us some homework because our budget is still about $1.1 million over target. So we may need to trim a few things, or hopefully maybe some grants will come in, and there are some other changes could happen. So we'll discuss that at our next meeting because we have to send the budget to the Appropriations Committee in the middle of March. So at our next meeting, we're going to finalize what we're going to send to Appropriations. Okay, for liaison reports, let's see. Mary Jo mentioned the Marathon Committee was proposing some changes to the kind of layout of this marathon start line area, different from previous years, but they will work on that and they'll bring that to us before we do the parade permit for the marathon. Muriel Kramer mentioned she attended the Eagle Court of Honor recently for Troop 4. And she also attended the a youth commission meeting recently. They're going to have a volunteer event coming up in a couple months at the library. And the planning board, she also talked to the planning board and got a little bit more information on the MBTA Communities Housing new law. And that I'm sure we'll be discussing that further at the select board too. Shahid will mention that the Elementary School Building Committee too, who is looking at the Elmwood School, is still working hard on that. They've recommended a grade configuration of grades 2 to 4. And I believe I read this week, the school committee had selected the site on Hayden Row as the best choice of the options. But again, that will be coming to the school committee, I believe, I think it came to school committee this week, and then it'll be coming to the select board at our next meeting, February 28th. Let's see. Mary Jo asked some questions about Cedar Street and East Main Street, about some housing there. And then I noted that the multicultural night at the high school, I attended that as well. So did Mr. Kamalo, and it was really well attended, very good event with lots of food from all different countries, performances. It was really a great event. Hope they'll continue with that going forward. And then for future agenda items, we mentioned that Mr. Kilduff wanted to do some kind of recognition of the town of Ashland for the 100th anniversary of the last time the marathon was started in Ashland. So we'll look at that at another meeting. Shahidul mentioned that we should discuss volunteer appreciation in the spring, maybe some kind of event to appreciate all our board and committee volunteers. And then I added that I think we should be discussing Elmwood School reuse now that they have recommended. It's not final yet, but once Elmwood School is decommissioned, we'll have to decide what we're going to do with it. And hopefully it won't linger so long like Center School. We'll figure something out. So I just wanted to add that for a future agenda item. And I think that was it. Thank you.